Welcome back to The Deep Dive, where the podcast takes a whole heap of sources on one topic and, well, dives deep, bringing you the core insights so you don't have to wade through it all yourself. Imagine you're looking out of this huge digital ocean, just countless messages, videos, posts, all washing up constantly. How does anything actually, connect? How does it grab attention in all that noise? That's what we're tackling today. So our mission for this deep dive is to really decode what makes content successful in one of the most digitally active places out there, Thailand. We're zeroing in specifically on Facebook, looking at trends and engagement for 2025. And we're not just guessing here. We've got two really solid sources. There's Hashmeta's big 2025 analysis and also the Hakuhodo Institute of Life and Living ASEAN. They did an equally deep survey for 2025. But look, this isn't just about Thailand. Sometimes looking closely at one culture helps us see these, well, universal human things, motivations that pop up everywhere. Okay, let's unpack this. What makes content truly hit home for millions? And what specific, maybe surprising things do we see when we focus on a culture like Thailand's?
Right. And to really get a grip on that, we should probably start with the big picture trends first. Hashmeta's analysis gives us that foundation, what's working across the board before we even look at, say, different age groups. Think of these as the core principles for anyone trying to connect there.
And right near the top, probably no big surprise, is video. Video dominance, they call it.
Yeah.
But it's the level of dominance and maybe the why that's really interesting here. Short videos, like under a minute. They don't just do better than static posts, they kind of crush them. And here's the bit that really caught my eye. Videos using Thai music or cultural references, local jokes, they get shared 3.5 times more often than the generic international stuff. 3.5 times. That's huge.
Yeah, that 3.5x figure, it's not just a statistic, is it? It tells a story about cultural connection. What's fascinating, I think, is how that cultural specificity just amplifies everything. It suggests the content isn't just, watched, it's actually felt. It resonates deeper when it clicks with local identity. It's seeing yourself, your community, maybe your sense of humor reflected back at you.
So for brands, it's not just about translating, is it? It's about really getting the culture.
Exactly. It's about understanding the nuances, the inside jokes, maybe specific regional things, and doing it authentically, of course. That's the tricky part. Not just ticking a box.
Yeah, authenticity.
Yeah.
The audience seems to have a built-in radar for that, doesn't it? Which brings us to the next point, the authenticity premium. We're seeing this big shift away from really polished, glossy ads. They just don't perform as well anymore. People seem to prefer the candid stuff, behind-the-scenes glimpses, maybe seeing employees. Just realness. But where's the line there between real and maybe just unprofessional? Is there a risk for brands?
That's a really good question. It's definitely a balancing act. It's not about ditching polish altogether, I don't think. It's more about weaving in those authentic moments. Think of it like a spectrum. A luxury brand can still be aspirational, but maybe show a quick, heartfelt chat with the person who made the product. It adds a human layer, builds trust, tells a story. User-generated content often nails this, right? People sharing their own experiences. That often beats a slick ad because it feels inherently genuine.
That makes total sense. And that desire for something genuine, something valuable, seems to link to the next trend too, educational and how-to content. Things like tutorials, cooking, beauty, finance, DIY, they apparently have a 62% higher completion rate compared to global averages. 62%. That really makes you stop and think. Why such a huge appetite for that practical self-improvement stuff? Is it universal, or is there something specific going on in Thailand?
I think it's probably a bit of both. We see a global trend towards utility, sure. But maybe in the Thai context, it's amplified by a cultural value placed on learning, on self-betterment, maybe sharing knowledge within the community. And that 62% completion rate is the key bit for me. People aren't just clicking, they're watching it all the way through.
Right, they're investing time.
Exactly. It's active engagement. They want tangible takeaways, skills they can actually use. It suggests a certain pragmatism, maybe, valuing knowledge that directly improves life.
Yeah, it tells me if you offer real value, you've got a good shot at getting through. It also makes you wonder if creators feel more responsibility, to make sure their how-to is actually accurate and helpful. Okay, so that desire for connection also fuels the next one. Community-centered content. Posts designed to spark discussion or create shared experiences get 2.7 times more comments and interactions.
Yeah, 2.7 times. That clearly shows people want to connect with others who share their interests or, get what they're going through.
But how do you actually build that community? It's more than just asking, what do you think? in the comments, right?
Yeah, definitely. Real community content taps into a shared identity or purpose. It could be polls that get people debating, maybe challenges everyone can join, or highlighting local achievements everyone feels proud of. Imagine a food blogger asking for everyone's family secret for a certain dish, or running a vote for the best local noodle spot. It turns passive viewers into active participants.
Ah, so it creates a sense of us.
Precisely. It leverages that basic human need for belonging, makes it feel like a digital village square almost.
Which loops us back nicely to the idea of Thai cultural integration. That remains super important. We mean content that respectfully weaves in local traditions, events like Songkran, a water festival, or even just uses language or local sayings in a smart way. It just consistently performs better. Can you give us some solid examples, beyond just sticking a Songkran banner on a post?
Sure, it's about genuine understanding. So, for Songkran, maybe a brand creates an online filter that lets you do a virtual water blessing, but also explains the real meaning behind it. Or during Loy Krathong, the Festival of Lights, maybe a campaign encouraging people to share photos of their own eco-friendly krathongs. Connecting tradition with, say, sustainability. It could even be simpler, using popular Thai proverbs and graphics. Or playing with regional dialects in a way locals appreciate. It shows you get it, you respect it, you're not just paying lip service.
Okay, so we've got what the big trends? Video, authenticity, education, community, culture. Now let's shift gears a bit and look at the who and, more importantly, the why. This is where the Hakuhudo 2025 survey comes in. It gives us this fascinating glimpse into the motivations behind why people engage, broken down by age. And yeah, some of these might surprise you or maybe feel quite familiar.
Exactly. This adds that crucial psychological layer. Different stages of life bring different needs, different stresses, and social media often becomes a tool to, well, manage those.
Let's kick off with Gen Z folks, around 20 to 29. According to the survey, their main reasons for engaging are pretty deep: to heal sadness and find inspiration. They're drawn to romance, arts, culture, things that are challenging or thrilling, and they really get involved in creative campaigns where they can express themselves. This feels like more than just killing time online, doesn't it? It sounds like they're actively using content for emotional support and figuring out who they are.
Absolutely. For Gen Z, social media is like an emotional landscape they navigate. They're dealing with a complex world, often very aware of global issues, and content becomes a way to soothe anxiety, find hope, or explore identity. Romantic stories offer escape, maybe connection. Challenging stuff might provide a sense of mastery or just stimulation, and their love for participatory campaigns. That screams, I want to contribute, I want to define myself. It's very active, very emotionally driven.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, moving up a bit to early millennials, the 30 to 39 group. Their motivations: staying up to date on trends and, coping with stress. Relatable. They like exploring new things, food and cooking comes up again, but also, and this really resonates, satirical takes on daily struggles. That someone else gets it. Feeling.
Spot on. Early millennials are often right in the thick of it, careers, maybe young kids, lots of responsibilities. Staying updated is practical, helps them keep up, and the stress relief. Satire is huge, isn't it? It's a way to laugh at the common frustrations. Think about all those memes about adulting or juggling work and life. When content nails that satire, it creates this powerful sense of solidarity. Okay, I'm not the only one feeling this. It validates their experience, makes them feel less alone. It's connection through shared humor.
So that raises a really key point, doesn't it? How are these younger groups actually using social media as a tool for managing emotions, for self-discovery? It's way beyond just simple entertainment.
Precisely. For both Gen Z and early millennials, it's not just passive consumption. It's an active space for processing things. Exploring identity through art, finding inspiration, getting a release through shared jokes. Content becomes a kind of digital toolkit for self-care, for understanding themselves and the world. It's a major shift in how these platforms function for them.
Totally. And as we go up the age range, the reasons shift, but they stay very human. Let's look at midlife folks, 40 to 49. They tend to go for relaxing, joyful stuff. Food and cooking are popular again, plus lighthearted stories. The survey says their main drivers are relieving stress, that's 27%, and supporting their interests at 26%. A clear need for comfort and personal enrichment.
Yeah, here we see a bit of a shift, maybe from that intense emotional exploration of the younger groups towards seeking more comfort, more stability. These people are often juggling peak career moments, family demands. Social media can be a bit of a refuge. Food content might evoke nostalgia or family connection. Lighthearted stories offer a break. It seems less about seeking big new challenges online and more about maybe savoring things, digging deeper into hobbies, finding those calm, joyful moments. Seeking contentment, perhaps.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, mid-late boomers, 50 to 59. Their interests lean towards society, traditions, social satire again, and religion, and their key motivations. Seeking community connection, that's the biggest driver at 32%, and supporting personal interests, close behind at 30%. Still about connection and passion, but maybe with a different lens.
For this group, social media often acts as a bridge, connecting them to their cultural roots, their community. They might be keen on preserving traditions, discussing social changes, reinforcing their values. The satire here might be less about personal daily grind and more observational humor about, say, generational differences or how society is changing. Religion, too, is often tied to community and identity, and platforms offer ways to connect on that level. So they're using it to reinforce who they are, maintain those important social ties, and stay engaged with their cultural world. And if you just step back for a second, connect all these age-specific motivations back to those big trends we talked about first. You see this amazing alignment, don't you? That demand for authentic stories, for community, for culturally relevant stuff, it echoes across all the age groups. Whether you're Gen Z looking for inspiration, a millennial dealing with stress, someone in midlife wanting to relax, or a boomer seeking community. Those core human needs for meaning, connection, feeling good, they're always there. They just show up in different content preferences depending on where you are in life.
So wrapping this all up, what does this actually mean for you listening? Maybe you're creating content, maybe you're working for a brand eyeing the Thai market, maybe you run a small business somewhere like Chiang Mai, or maybe you're just trying to make sense of your own feed. These insights are pretty useful, I think. The big takeaways really are. First, the sheer power of short-form video, especially with that local touch. It's not just an option, it's almost essential. Second, that deep human need for authenticity and real connection. People want content that feels genuine, not staged. Third, the lasting value of practical educational stuff that actually helps people learn or improve something. That cultural drive for self-betterment really shines through. And finally, never underestimate cultural relevance. Getting that right can massively boost engagement. It turns content from something you just see into something you feel.
And all these trends together point to this bigger shift, right? Away from just passively consuming stuff towards actively engaging based on deeper needs, emotional needs, practical needs. It really becomes about what the content does for the person watching, how it helps them feel, learn, connect, maybe even just cope with a tough day. Content is becoming a service, in a way. And succeeding means really understanding, having empathy for the audience's lives, their hopes, their worries.
Exactly. And that's why digging into a specific market like Thailand is so valuable. It holds up this mirror to universal human behaviors online. We're all searching for meaning, for connection, for inspiration, and yes, sometimes just a bit of stress relief. For global brands, it's a clear message. Generic won't cut it. You need deep cultural understanding. And for all of us, it's a fascinating look at the very human forces shaping our digital world every single day.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Thai social media trends. We really hope these insights give you a fresh way to look at the digital world, whether you're making stuff, consuming it, or just curious. Yeah, and maybe as you scroll later today, just pause for a second. Think about why you stopped on a particular post. Was it inspiration, connection, just needing a laugh? How might understanding these deeper motivations framed by a specific culture like Thailand's change how you interact online, or even what you choose to create? What little insights are hiding in your own feed?
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and definitely keep diving deep. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.